Welcome back. Today is the final day of work. We've got to grease the doors, got to finish the touch-up paint, we got to add the numbers to the building, organize the unit numbers, and then the last and final task to really hone in and make it a business. We got to put the sign up, which I'm nervous and scared about all at the same time. It's one of those things when you only get one shot at it. I didn't order any extra, vinyl, any sign material. I get one shot and I can't screw it up. Fingers crossed. One of the things that we've been talking about lately is how to acquire more storage. And I wanted to touch on that just a bit. So one of the questions that we get all the time is, where did we get the cash, the US dollar, to be able to purchase these storage facilities? Now, a lot of people use what we call leverage. They go and find either a lender, like a bank, or a personal loan person to loan them some money to be able to purchase, cash flowing assets. For example, like our storage facilities. Now, the way we do it is we pay cash for these facilities. And where we got that cash is quite unique, to say the least. We get this cash from, going all in. I went all in. It was one of those things that when I was a deputy sheriff, I would listen to these podcasts in the middle of the night, working graveyard, looking for bad guys. And I had this idea of cashing out my retirement. I had spent 10, 11, 12 years investing into pulling that capital out and buying an asset that could pay me every month starting now, not waiting years down the road. So that's what I did. When we sold everything in California, we took all and every dollar that we saved, earned, and we invested it into cash flowing assets. And that's how we have the money to purchase storage facilities right now. We have no retirement plan. We don't have an IRA. We don't have a 457 account. We don't have a 401k. We don't have a PERS retirement. I used to have those things, and it came down to asking the question, do I want someone else to manage my money, or do I want to be able to manage the money? And I'm a control freak. And not understanding the stock market, not understanding how markets work, it was just I wasn't the expert. In order to pay an expert, they would invest your money for you. And the way they did that is by charging fees. And I wanted more control in my life, but I also wanted to retire early. And the way I figured out how to retire early is to buy businesses, buy cash flowing assets that pay you each and every month that you manage. And you can manage from anywhere in the world. I've rented storage units literally from my bedroom in Thailand. Are there systems and processes that you need to put in place in order to do that? Absolutely. And it does take work, but it doesn't take as much work as you think. Now, buying a rundown storage facility that needs to be painted and refurbished, that takes a lot of work. That's going to take 2 or 3 weeks of our time and effort and money and risk. But at the end of the day, for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years, this business or this storage facility is going to produce monthly cash flow. Now, you might think I'm an idiot, and most people do, but most people aren't me. Most people aren't the risk taker that I am. I'm willing to gamble it. That's why I can't go to casinos, because if I go to a casino, I'm going to want to bet it all. All right, that's just how I operate. But other folks are going to think I'm an idiot, where you can go out and get a loan, take some of your cash, put it down, invest into a property, and pay the bank every single month, and your tenants pay the loan down, and you get to use less of your money and more of their money. That works. That absolutely does work. We've done that with our single family, our multifamily. I haven't done it with storage facilities yet. And the reason why I haven't done it yet is because I want immediate cash returns. We're able to essentially buy a facility for what our down payment would have to be on a larger facilities. Now, the thing that I love about a paid off asset is if it's either 3 tenants or 100 tenants, you're going to cash flow and you're going to be able to pay your bills. Because my bills on this particular property is property taxes, insurance, and that's it. Oh, and software, a website, that kind of thing, which is $60-$70 a month. So when we go into these types of situations, I'm looking for assets that we can pay cash with. Now, at some point in time, I'm gonna run out of cash. And that's where the second step comes into play. When I decided to sell everything, move from California to Georgia, buy cash flowing assets to be able to retire early, the second step of that plan was to be able to create a business that produced more cash flow, that provided a service. I've tried all kinds of different things. I've done golf podcasts, golf events. I've done painting mailboxes. I've started a painting company. I've tried to start a lawn company. I've tried to start all these different types of businesses. I even, embarrassingly, I tried to start like a daily paid like romance novel blog. I couldn't get into it, so I couldn't make any money at it. But the next thing that I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and produce a business that attracts attention. And attention is a fancy term for advertisements. I'm going to sell advertisements. That's my next business, which we'll get into later down the road. That's a business is going to kick off in January 2025 when we get back to Georgia and we get a little more stable. We're not traveling so much. Now, what's the ultimate plan? The ultimate plan is to continue to buy small storage facilities, add on to those storage facilities as demand increases, and hold those assets absolutely forever. And the reason why I want to hold it on forever is because it's my retirement plan. That's what we're going to do. We're going to try and get to $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month in monthly revenue. And then I'm buying a yacht. We're sailing around the world. So before then, we've got to get the things that we need to get done today so we can get to South Carolina to try and buy our third storage facility. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them below. I will include my email if you want additional one-on-one conversations. I think it's called coaching, mentorship. I don't know. But I gotta get to work. Let's get to work. Another free tip for if you're gonna buy a storage facility, okay, that's kind of hasn't been used in a while. Grease up the doors. It'll help increase the lifetime of your storage facility doors. Roll-up door, traditional door, whatever door. Grease them up. Grease them up as often as you can. Keep that thing lubed up, okay? It's like a dirty, dirty door. It needs some love. Get your head out of the gutter.
Great, and I am ready to bolt it on the building. Alright, let's get down and do it.
It's entirely the most stressful thing I've done at the storage facility. Because we only bought one sign, and if you screw it up, well, you can't screw it up. That's the key. Definitely crooked right, right there. Definitely crooked right there. So the solution is simply, we're gonna leave it because they can read it. And I'll probably order a new one to make it absolutely perfect. Or I will make it a marketing tool and be like, hey, the crooked sign storage unit. And they'll be like, oh yeah, that one. I drive by it and it drives me crazy. You never know what sparks people's imagination. It's the little things that make you stand out, even when you f it up. All right, so I wanted to cover how we actually rent units, but also how we prepare units so that someone can show up, rent the unit immediately, and then have access to it. This isn't the most secure way. So first thing that we're gonna use, in order to get tenant protection or tenant insurance, you have to use disc locks at a storage facility. So we use a stainless steel disc padlock. They're individually keyed, so I don't have access to them. Only the tenants have access to them, and the tenants aren't, no one has the same key. And then we take what we call a security tab. Take a security tab, put the lock inside the unit, we close the door, then we put the security tab on the actual where the lock's supposed to go, and it secures the unit, and then we can rent it, wherever we're at in the world. Chase, you're kind of making a mess. So we've discovered this way is a relatively easy way to secure the unit, but also to be able to deter anyone from breaking inside the unit, because we would know. But also we allow our tenants, our future tenants, to be able to immediately access the unit, which is so very, very key.